Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Virgo August 2019 horoscope forecast, part 2 of 2. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Anyway, people, first thing up is as far as August goes, Venus will be in Virgo from the 18th until the 31st. So the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Well, at this time, Virgo, you might be coming across a little bit more attractive than usual to others and dressing very meticulously and somehow and even being maybe neater than you usually are in your appearance, and perhaps that might come across as a little bit more attractive to others than usual. And really, at this time as well, Virgo, if you're unattached, you may connect with a Virgo Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Virgo characteristics that might be very prominent in new beginnings. It could have been somebody maybe you knew from your early childhood. It could be someone that might very well play a role, perhaps in your outlook on life and maybe even your appearance, perhaps. This could also be a time, Virgo, where you may strongly value, more so than usual even, just punctuality, dependability, reliability, being meticulous with details, analytical, organized, clean. And these things might be come across more on a first impression to others more so than usual. And it could also be about spending money on yourself as far as perhaps diet, fitness, health related matters go. Organizers such as a pocket organizer or one of those day planners, anything that might be connected with organization. So anyway, next thing up, Mars will be in Leo as far as August goes, from the 1st until the 18th. So the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, well, Virgo, you might find that your energy and vitality might be a little bit more depleted than usual, or you might be expending that inexorable energy, perhaps Leo-type energy, perhaps more in your private matters at this time, and maybe even at this time as well. If you're unattached this time, Virgo, you may connect with a Leo Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Leo characteristics. It may be for might be for a sexual liaison in a clandestine affair, perhaps, in some cases. And also, too, there could be battles connected with pride and ego. Might be really oneself undoing at this time, and you might find yourself becoming very angry and acerbic over rather maybe a boisterous, arrogant, bombastic, egotistical, domineering aunt or uncle, someone prominent in your private life. But this could also be expending a lot of energy connected with generosity, perhaps and really perhaps with those that are less fortunate than yourself, such as the impoverished, the oppressed, the homeless, and the hungry at this time. So anyway, next thing up, Mars will be in Virgo as far as August goes, from the 18th until the 31st. So the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, Virgo, you might find yourself having more abundance and surfeit of energy at this time, more so than usual. You might find yourself also being a little bit more outspoken than usual, really, and especially with a lot of maybe critical and judgmental statements, derogatory statements toward others. If you've held back before, if you suppressed your energy, suppressed any anger toward anyone previously, the odds are it's going to actually be unleashed at this time. And also, too, you might find yourself as well putting a lot of energy and vitality into Virgo new beginnings at this time, such as something with extrapolating data, statistical analysis, cleaning, organizing, doing something perhaps with some kind of analytics, or doing perhaps something that requires a lot of attention to detail, such as data entry or computer programming, anything or something with health, fitness, and nutrition. So And if you're unattached at this time, Virgo, you may connect with the Virgo Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or one that embodies Virgo characteristics. It may be for a sexual liaison. It could be somebody that might also figure prominently your new beginnings, or maybe someone you knew from your early childhood as well. So anyway, next thing up, Jupiter will be in Sagittarius still, so the fourth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, as I've spoken about previously, Jupiter could be rather paradoxical, could be very strongly benign and benevolent, but it could also have the tendency to enlarge and expand. In a lot of cases, this could enlarge and expand rather reckless, over-optimistic, foolhardy, over-exuberant, or over-enthusiastic type energy, self-righteous energy, perhaps with family members, the less dominant parent, which is often the mother, people you're close to home with, and it might be the way, it might be somehow in your dealings and your interactions with these people as well. And even for it even just matters with your home. I mean, such as like if you're trying to add a partition on the home or make some kind of expansion on it and trying to do it in a certain amount of time, and maybe not giving maybe being overconfident in that area, and not giving yourself enough time to actually do it, in setting a time to do it. That might not really be the time where you could actually accomplish it. And now this could also be, in some cases though, very fortuitous and auspicious for home-related matters, such as expanding a home, adding a partition to it, and also just your family in general, and also very positive energy for perhaps outdoor adventure, even religion with family members, but also too very good for the end or the latter part of life. And perhaps it's a time, and especially like if you're actually in that part of life right now, and also perhaps expanding these maybe Sagittarius, enthusiastically expressing Sagittarius traits you may have at the core, such as expansiveness and exuberance, enthusiasm, optimism, jocularity, joviality. So anyway, next thing up, Saturn will be in Capricorn still, so the fifth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, Virgo, you might be dealing with certain restrictions and limitations, perhaps in your fun, amusement, your enjoyment. You might find that maybe dealing with children and lovers might be more of a laborious effort, more so than usual. And you might find yourself taking care of a sickly or debilitated child or lover at this time. It could be something Capricorn related, such as something with the knees, the bones, the joints, the hamstrings, and maybe making you feel somewhat despondent and melancholy at this time as well. But also this could manifest in taking serious responsibility. Perhaps it could be something with gambling, such as gambling debts or matters connected with speculation, and also maybe very conservative type investments at this time. So those are some ways this can manifest, but you might also be dealing with some kind of restriction or limitation in your personal popularity, and maybe working very hard and with a lot of laborious, consistent effort to try to maybe improve it at this time. So anyway, next thing up. Well, Uranus will be in Taurus, so the ninth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So one way this may manifest, this could be about dealing with somewhat unusual, stubborn, obstinate behavior with in-laws, with grandchildren. You might be doing something Uranus-like as far as a college higher education course goes, such as something with astronomy, maybe even astrology, aerospace, computers, electronics, even rocket science at this time. And you might be in financial fluctuations, might be impacting perhaps matters with publishing, in-laws, grandchildren, maybe foreign travel at this time. You might be taking at this time as well, you might be seeing just some unusual, unorthodox behavior from ninth house people. And also at this time as well, it might be also be about adopting an unusual or unorthodox philosophy at this time. So anyway, Well, next thing up, Neptune will be in Pisces, so the 7th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. So at this time, people, well, you might be dealing with some deception, duplicity in your relationships. It could be a hard time maybe deciphering the character composition of others in general. Hold on a moment, people. And when I look at this energy as well, this could also manifest in doing something Neptune-like as far as competition goes. It could be something with poetry or even dancing, something with photography, chemistry, maybe even with astrology, metaphysical, which could include astrology. You might find that your relationships are dissipating at this time and dissolving. I have this placement natally, and my relationships are always constantly dissipating. It seems like I deal with a lot of constant dissolving of energy as far as this goes. And also, too, at this time, it might be very difficult to decipher maybe who your open adversaries are at this time as well. They might be disguised as friends, so you just have to really, and they might really be more of an open enemy than maybe you're cognizant of, and it might be difficult seeing the transgressions and flaws of others at this time as well. And people, that 7th house people, even a grandmother might be a little bit more nebulous and unclear than usual. And also, as far as legal matters go, it might be difficult to see the fine print and things. So if you're signing any kind of legal issue or contract at this time, just be careful you're seeing the fine print. And you're not signing something that's not going to work for you later, and it's not going to be feasible for you at a later point in time, or is something you would rather have not have done after you've done it, if you understand what I'm saying. So, because it might not be quite what you actually wanted. So I just I would really advise you, as far as that goes, Virgo, to just make sure you're being punctilious with details like you are in, practically every aspect of your life most of the time. So anyway, and also, too, when you're talking about Neptune energy, it could be more lethargic energy. Could be more about daydreaming, fantasizing in connection with 7th house matters and actually doing things with them. And especially if this is making an adverse aspect to your Ascendant, your Sun, or your Mars at this time. Last but not least, Pluto will be in Capricorn still, so the 5th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, I know a lot of you don't want me to say the dreaded D word, but I'm going to anyway. In some cases, this can manifest in the actual or literal death, perhaps of a child, of a lover, someone you're in a romantic connection with. It could be somebody that maybe you shared some kind of creative endeavor with, or something connected with fun, amusement, or enjoyment with. It could also be at this time you might be expecting infallibility from children, from lovers, maybe people you're involved in some kind of investment with. And also, too, this can manifest in Pluto type things connected with fun, amusement, and enjoyment, such as perhaps the astrology, occult, supernatural, maybe going around searching for things, digging deep, going around with a metal detector trying to find lost things, solving mysteries, problem solving in general, getting to the bottom of matters, and maybe things connected with horror and the supernatural as well, and transforming, such as maybe rebuilding vehicles or recycling. So, and also, too, at this time, you might be dealing with more power struggles and upheavals with children, with lovers, and could also manifest perhaps in Plutonian type investments, such as something with an insurance or recycling type place, or anything connected with some kind of transformation. So, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Virgo August 2019 horoscope forecast, part 2 of 2. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be giving you my Libra August 2019 horoscope forecast, part 1 of 2. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone. Because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.